Yo, Bo, welcome to another episode of In the Life with MightyFan. And yeah, we're going to revisit this. So I probably should have moved some of this stuff out of the way before the starting of this video, huh? But to make some of these a little more accessible. Um, so, some years ago during the pandemic, I did this series where I showed all the jerseys one by one on all my different racks or closets. Basically it was like cataloging what I owned. I mean, it was during the pandemic, so people were very creative during this time, right? We found ways of entertaining ourselves, right? And that's what I did. And it was cool. It was nice to kind of, see what I had at that point. And I realized I didn't show every single thing because I never quite got to the Philly, teams collections, but I will this time around. So I did, how I did it then is it was one video per rack or closet, right? And I'm going to do that again. I figure this is something that I might try to do every 5 years or so, just to kind of catalog the collection. This is where I am at this point. Today is March 3rd, 2024. This is when I'm starting this. I probably won't finish it until the fall because, as some of you might know, it does get, heat rises. So I'm in the second floor of the house. This is where I store this room I'm in right now is the Ron room. Rest in peace to Ron. It has all my a good amount, I should say, of the Mitchell&Ness baseball and some non-Mitchell&Ness. It also has hockey in this room. Primarily, that's what's in here. And I have another room across that's just basketball, jerseys, and hats. And then down in the man cave, I have more football and all the Philly team, jerseys. So it is something that's going to take a while to to show all of. But the cool thing about doing this, like I said, is it's a way for me to catalog the collection. This is what I have. Now, I add to it. There's always going to be additions, and that's why I want to revisit this, because since the pandemic years, certainly we've added, to the collection. I think the only thing I'm not going to re-show is the Jordan and Bulls closet, because I don't think I added much at all to it since the pandemic years. But I know for sure all these Z-bottom racks, they've been added to. I mean, on this one alone, there's so much different stuff. This didn't look like this when I did the pandemic because I didn't have my hockey jerseys on a rack. I had them in the closet in there. So certainly this is, grown. And I'm happy that the hockey collection has certainly, grown to the point that I'm starting to put it on these Z-bottom racks. There's some other baseball here that's non-Mitchell&Ness. The only Mitchell&Ness jersey on this rack for baseball is this batting practice Kirk Gibson Tigers jersey, and that's because it has the walking tiger logo on the front. I love that logo, so I just wanted to put that in the front. No other reason other than that. But I have some other stuff, some of the, City Connect jerseys by Nike, replica stuff. I have some custom Majestic jerseys here too, which is really cool. But I'll get into these when I show this rack here. But we're going to start with the rack that's on the other side of me right here. So this is the first of my primarily Mitchell&Ness. There might be a couple non-Mitchell&Ness jerseys, but primarily this is all Mitchell&Ness. There's 2 racks worth, and this is non-Phillies. So for those of you who don't know, the Phillies are my favorite team. I live just outside the city, so I'm a partial season ticket holder to Phillies. They're my team. I love them more than any other team. But as a collector, I love collecting. So I have every team in the collection, basically. Including some teams that aren't around anymore. So it's a rather large collection. Baseball is probably the sport that I love collecting the most because I've always loved their jerseys. I've said this many a time, but I'm going to repeat myself for those of you who are new to the channel, seeing this for the first time, and welcome to those who are. I love collecting baseball, but my wheelhouse is basically the decades that I've been around for. So the 1970s to current day poly knit jerseys. I do have a small little collection of wool flannel. I don't have much. To me, I've always just been more enamored with these, with the poly knits, than the wool flannels. And there's no way I can wear wool flannel jerseys during most of baseball season because they're wool flannel. They're hot. I mean, it's hard enough to wear this type of jersey during the baseball season. There's no way I'm going to put on a wool flannel jersey in the middle of the summer. That's just not going to happen. But, and also aesthetically, I like the look of these better. It's just no rhyme or reason. I don't hate on wool flannel. I don't hate on collectors who that's all they get. That's fine. I always say in collecting, to each his own. Everyone collects the way they want to, and this is how I do it. So my collection for baseball is dominated by the 70s to current day. You know, I have a lot of Mitchell&Ness, but I also have a decent selection of authentic vintage jerseys or even current day jerseys. Authentics. I have some replicas too, but mainly it's the authentic jerseys. And that range goes from anywhere from the 90s to current day. I have a full rack down in the man cave of just authentic non-Phillies jerseys, a Z-bottom rack full of authentics that we'll get to eventually. And then I have another Z-bottom just of Phillies jerseys and half a closet worth of Phillies jerseys. So the Phillies will always dominate the collection for the team, but we have a wide variety here in the Mighty Kingdom, okay? And the way I display my jerseys are on these wonderful Z-bottom racks, but I display them by, for the most part, team and year by team. So from like the whatever the earliest year is to kind of the more, more current, whatever it is, depending on the team, right? The wool flannels, though, I kind of keep to themselves. So I do have some wool flannels for some of these teams I just don't have with the team, but you'll see them in a future video because they're right over there. You can kind of see them peeking over right there. But I only have, like I say, maybe 8 or 9, 10, 12. I mean, if I count the Phillies ones, maybe about 13, 14. Not a whole lot, but again, that's just not what I go after as much. And so let's get into it. I do want to put this in as a disclaimer. Nothing I'm showing you is for sale or trade. So if you hit me up in a comment, hey, are you selling blah, 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 it will just be ignored. So don't even bother. You're wasting your time. I'm not a seller. I'm not a trader. My collection is my collection. What comes to the Mighty Kingdom stays in the Mighty Kingdom. That's just the way it is. I know I'm breaking a lot of hearts with that, but I don't sell. I don't trade. So you're wasting your time if you try to hit me up on a DM or something. On another platform like an Instagram, or if you leave comments, it's just going to be ignored. The answer is no. I'm just going to tell you right now, no. So that's just, I throw it out there. People might not listen, but I throw it out there. It's a waste of time to ask if I'm selling or trading anything, because I'm not. So let's start with everyone's favorite trash bangers, the Houston Astros. We got the Astros first on this rack. Again, this is all, for the most part, Mitchell&Ness. There might be a couple oddballs on here. But we got the home 73. Now, the one thing I did with the last series when I did this, but I'm not going to do it this time, is the first time around when I did this during the pandemic years, I specified like where the jersey was made, like if it was made in USA, made in El Salvador, whatever. I'm not going to do that this time. You're basically just going to see the front and back of the jersey. That just kind of keeps things moving along a little more. And yeah, but a lot of these jerseys are older run. There are a decent amount of current run. And when I say the current stuff, it's like made in China, made in Vietnam, wherever Mitchell&Ness makes them in the past, however many years. But there's a decent amount of old runs like this one. This is an older run Mitchell&Ness. J.R. Richard. This is the home. Astros. Took me a while to find this one. I used to see these a lot. When I first started collecting about 20 years ago, I used to see these hit eBay quite a lot. And I always wanted the road gray one. And the road gray one was, to me, like the special one. I've always liked road gray for baseball. It's just one of those things with me, right? But the home one I never jumped on, and it just became a scarce jersey to get. And I finally was able to get one last year. And I was just so happy to finally pair it up and end that hunt for the set of these, because they made the home and away J.R. Richard 1970s Astros jerseys. And this is the road. And actually, this one is probably one of my, not the first Mitchell&Ness baseball jersey that I ever owned, but it's one of them. I mean, I've had this one a long time. And there's the road Houston right there. You got the Astrodome logo. I love that logo. One of my all-time favorite logos. And this is a 1973. So you saw the home. So this is the road. And both of these have become pretty scarce. So sometimes the old saying is, jump while the iron's hot. And, well, I did that for some of these, and others it took me a little while to acquire them. Up next, we have a jersey that everyone's familiar with. We got the Tequila Sunrise Houston Astros. So this would be the Mr. Cruz jersey right here. 1975 is your year. The Jose Cruz, right there, Cruz. Very unique. It's the only version of this that Mitchell&Ness ever did with the circle around the letter, around the numbers on the back. This is the only jersey from this particular era that they did. They also had the 40 memorial on there. This is a very iconic jersey. This, not maybe quite this one, but another one of this style was a very big hitter for Mitchell&Ness. Probably if you were to say the Mount Rushmore of Mitchell&Ness jerseys, it would probably be on there. Now, I know last time when I did my In the Life from Down to Man Cave, I was talking about St. Patrick's Day jerseys. I did forget this one, the Houston Astros, of course. It is the month of March after all, right? We got the St. Patrick's Day. Again, J.R. Richard on the back. It's the only St. Patrick's Day themed Astros jersey Mitchell&Ness has done. And of course, this jersey made fame by Allen Iverson wearing it at his celebrity softball game many years ago, wearing I'm forgetting words. See, I can remember every jersey I have, but sometimes I forget words, which probably isn't good. But the prototype Astro logo, which now is everywhere. Like, you can find it on just about any hat now. They put it on everything. But actually, they reissued that hat. Some hat companies reissued the hat. I have it somewhere in the collection that Iverson was wearing in that picture of him at the celebrity softball game wearing this J.R. Richard, and he wore a Astros with the prototype A, which crazy to see where he found one of those, but apparently I guess they made it back in the day. So they remade that hat, and I actually got one that someday I do want to wear with this jersey because it's a green Astros hat with the prototype A. So this is going to be a 1978. Ooh, that's a good year. Certain someone was born in 78. So, so there's the J.R. Richard St. Patrick's Day Astros, and then this guy we have Mr. Richard in the Tequila Sunrise as well. There it is, Richard 50 on the back, 1980. Little fun fact, he did have health issues and could not play in the postseason that year. And of course, that was a very memorable postseason series, the NLCS with my beloved Philadelphia Phillies and the Houston Astros, which was a wonderful series back then. Phillies outlasted the Astros. They won in Houston and went on to win their first World Series in franchise history, of course. But what a battle it was with them and the Astros. A best-of-5 series back then. And the Phillies won the first two. Houston won the next two in the Astrodome. And Game 5 was in the Astrodome with Nolan Ryan on the mound. It's the only time that Nolan lost a lead in a playoff game. Phillies were able to get him and go on to win the World Series that year. And then Houston got us back some years ago. We want that rubber match, Houston. You know, Planet Houston, we need that rubber match, okay? So this jersey right here, this is the 1980 Nolan Ryan. This is the original run, okay? So you notice it's stitched. It's not supposed to be. It was a oopsie by Mitchell&Ness back in the day, which they corrected some years ago. But, right, the front of it, it's not supposed to be stitched. They did it. But this jersey in particular was a very big hitter for Mitchell&Ness back in the day. And it was worn on many different, magazine covers and then hip-hop videos and such. By different various hip-hop artists, and it just became one of the staples, for Mitchell&Ness back in the day. And I'm glad to have the original run in the collection. Although I don't think this particular one was ever worn by Fabulous or something like that, or Jay-Z, but it's worn by MightyFan, and that's what counts. So anyhow, we move along, And just because I like to be a completist, I did get the current version, the more newer run, because they got it right, because it's supposed to be, the front's supposed to be heat pressed, not stitched, which the originals were. But the Astros and the star on the front is heat pressed on. That's the way it should be. The back is stitched, but the front was supposed to be heat pressed. So, Mitchell&Ness made mistakes back in the day too. Okay, so Ryan with the nameplate 34, again another Tequila Sunrise, but this one again more of the current run, China, jersey, and the particulars right there. And then we have this Navy alternate Astros, or maybe the batting practice. I kind of forget. I think they wore these during the games too. Back in the day. Nolan Ryan again. They made quite a few Nolan jerseys. I mean, why not? An all-time great. 1980 again is your year. Very, very nice. There are other versions of the Astros Tequila Sunrise jersey, like the old Road Gray, that I really wish Mitchell&Ness made. And maybe they still will someday. I know that some customized creators were able to make them. And they're just incredible looking. But obviously, they're just, you can't get them. It's Mitchell&Ness. So they're kind of similar to this, although in gray. A gray version of this. Finally, this is the 86, I want to say, right? 86? Yeah, 86, Nolan Ryan. The home version. So they kind of, changed it up a little bit. Now they put the stripes, just the design basically on the shoulders and down the sleeve instead of all in the middle. But again, same kind of deal, Astros with the 34. And you have your 25th anniversary. And I do believe there's also a version of this with the All-Star patch as well, which I don't own. Maybe someday. But... And finally, for the Astros, for Mitchell&Ness anyhow, we got the Craig Biggio. And this would be your 94, so it's got the MLB 125 on the sleeve. And your Astrodome logo on the other sleeve, very cool. Biggio 7 on the back. And then the Astros on the front, so this is a 94 Astros. Really the only one that they've done so far as authentics for like the 90s, like this style. And I'd like to see them do some more. I wouldn't mind like a Bagwell, maybe a Randy Johnson, maybe some more Biggios or whatever. I do have a Randy in this from a custom Majestic that you'll see in a future vid. But we move along to the Montreal Expos. Yes, boys and girls, before they were the Washington Nationals, the baseball team resided in Montreal. I know, because I saw them play against my Phillies back in the day at Veterans Stadium. The Montreal Expos, and this is the Hawk right here, Andre Dawson. Beautiful jersey. All-Star logo. The only one I don't have in this, and I still want it, is the Baines. Or Reigns, I'm sorry. I said Baines. Right? They all sound the same. Baines and Reigns, right? But Reigns, I don't have the Rock Reigns in this. It's the only one I don't own from this set, and I still want it. It's just, again, talk about scarce jerseys. These are getting more and more scarce. 82 Expos for the Hawk. Andre Dawson. Like I said, that Baines Reigns, that's still the... Tim Rock Reigns is the one I still need from this set. Maybe someday. And then we have Gary Carter. So this is the original that they made of this for this particular year. So you can see the shade of blue is slightly different. The newer version is more of a darker blue, light blue, and this one's more of a lighter light blue, sky blue, whatever, powder blue. Expos 8 on the front. Of course, the original Kid, Carter 8 on the back. You have that logo again, 82 All-Star Game, which has become a very popular side patch for hats now. And since the pandemic years. There's the particulars on the bottom. Old run, Mitchell&Ness. And we move on to the only home version I own. The only home version Mitchell&Ness ever did of this style. Gary Carter. Again, the racing stripes going down. Again, you have the All-Star logo, 82. Carter 8 on the back. Beautiful jersey. Really like these. This whole set is a nice, and this is a real old one, you can tell, with how the border goes around there of the year. And for those of you who didn't know, the big unit started his Hall of Fame career as an Expo. And there's basically his rookie jersey. Number 51, Expos, R. Johnson on the back. Now, that was custom put on the back from the previous owner of this jersey. So, for those of you who don't know, Mitchell&Ness, the old run, USA runs, they didn't have the naming rights to the players back then. But they still made the jerseys because they were so popular, and they just put the number on the back. The jersey, everything else about the jersey looked exactly like it should. It just didn't have a name on the back. So, what people do anymore, like, you know, previous owners of some of these jerseys, I'll do it. I have some jerseys I have to send off at some point to have the name put on the back. We get the name custom on the back. So the actual original look of this jersey would not have the R. Johnson on the back. It would just have the 51. They made the home and away. I'm sorry, they did make the home in this one too. So this is another version of this style they made the home in. But it wouldn't have the R. Johnson on the back. That was custom put on, which I'm happy for. It's one of the things that really sold me on this jersey. I love that R. Johnson on the back. The original Guerrero that they remade this with the correct sizing of the font for the 20. Look at that. It's like today's word font for the MLB names. Look at that tiny 27 on the front, so it should be bigger. But so they made another version of this. I think they made what, the 94 or 9? No, not 97. They did the 97 with the Jackie patch last year, which I didn't pick up. But this is the original version of it. The Road Gray Guerrero Expos. The only time a baseball team honored a hockey player. The 9 on there is for Rocket Richard, who passed away that year, I should say. Guerrero 27 on the back. Batterman. Yeah, that's how a name should be on a jersey. Not this tiny stuff that they're doing today. Nike. But anyhow, moving along to the turn ahead the clock jersey, right? So this is a Arizona Diamondbacks, Randy Johnson. You saw his Expos jersey. Here's a turn ahead the clock. Arizona Diamondbacks jersey, and the year tag is on the inside, I believe. Yep. 1999. Well, party like it's 1999 with this one. Beautiful jersey. I really like this. This is probably one of my favorite styles of the turn ahead the clock jerseys that were worn. And there's the big unit right there. Now, Mitchell&Ness did not make every single one. They did a limited run for different teams. But the Diamondbacks was one of my favorites, so I was glad to acquire that one. This is your regular Diamondbacks from the 01 season, their championship season. Randy Johnson again. And to date, this is the only authentic that they made from this era. They've done batting practice, but not regular on-field, so this is the only one to this point. 9/11, of course, so it has the flag. Johnson 51. It is, again, from 2001. Beautiful jersey. And then we have the lone Rockies representative in the collection. We have the Todd Helton, as far as Mitchell&Ness anyhow, we have the Todd Helton 99 turn ahead the clock with the big Rockies right there logo. Really, really nice. Sharp look. Helton 17 on the back. The newly minted Hall of Famer, Todd Helton. Congratulations to Todd Helton. Great hitter back in the day. Truly was a great hitter. And well earned to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He'll be inducted this summer. Then we go to the Cincinnati Reds Slims team. The Redlegs. The Cincinnati Reds, we got that Pete Rose, the pullover. Shout out again to J-Dub for this one. This is the home version of the 19. It doesn't have a year, but I want to say about 75, 70, somewhere in that range, 75 maybe. It does have a memorial. I do forget what the memorial in there was for, but it does have that. He custom put that on there. 14, Reds. Chain stitching for the Reds as well. On the front, you got Rose 14. Look at that. Look at that name on the back. Come on, Nike, what the hell are you doing? This is what names should look like on the back of baseball jerseys, damn it. We should be able to see the name from all the way up in the cheap seats. And I love the fact that some of these teams in the 70s had those huge name words. The word font on the back for their names, including the Reds. This is not a Mitchell&Ness jersey, but this is a vintage, what's this? A vintage Rawlings Johnny Bench. And I keep it with the Reds, with the Mitchell&Ness Reds, because it's the same era. Basically the same style jersey. So I kind of keep those together. I do love those 70s Reds jerseys. I really do. And here we got the Mitchell&Ness Johnny Bench. With it's inaccurately put on there. The previous owner had the World Series 75 patch put on there. Not supposed to be on there. Of course, back then the teams didn't have a World Series patch, but it's an extra. It looks cool on it, so what the heck, right? Bench 5 on the back. 1975, part of the Big Red Machine in their glory years. Right there, one of the all-time great catchers. And a couple of those guys, including this guy, wound up with the Phillies late in their career on the 83 Phillies. Of course, lost in the World Series to the Orioles. But here's Tony Perez. This is his 76 Cincinnati Reds home jersey. I still want to get his road version, which has become very hard to get. 76, Tony Perez. You can always tell the 76 because all the teams in the National League wore that patch, the 100th anniversary centennial year for the National League. Beautiful jersey. I have quite a few of the 76 jerseys in the collection for various different teams. And here we have the Road 76. I'm going to hit this thing so many times. The Road 76 Johnny Bench with, again, the centennial for the National League patch. Particulars down there. And of all the Reds players from that era, the one that's always you just never see anymore is the Joe Morgan. I don't see Joe Morgan jerseys very often. I see Pete Rose, I see Johnny Bench, Concepcion, Perez, but Morgan. It's like for whatever reason, Joe kind of is the one that's the hardest to get. I was glad to get this one. I didn't again. A little extra on there. It's not supposed to be, but it pops. Morgan 8 on the back. Slightly old run. It's before they put the name and year on the other side. And, this was one day just hanging around at the Mitchell&Ness store, and I'm like, ooh, that's an older run, and yeah, it's a player I don't already own, so why not, right? The Dave Concepcion. Again, 76 Road. I don't have the home version, but the Road. And talk about names. Woo! Oh, yeah, that big arc name on the back. Nike would throw up seeing this. Dave Concepcion. And yes, another St. Patty's jersey right here. We have the Tom Seaver pullover St. Patrick's Day special right there with the shamrock on the sleeve. Just in case you didn't know, it was for St. Patrick's Day. Now, they're Eagles fans. That's why. And again, look at that. Look at this one. Huh? 81 St. Pat's. In the green. Look at that. They're just so festive. Mitchell&Ness back in the day. They were so festive. Speaking of Festive, Slim Festive says hi. Looking forward to the visit. It just makes Slim's day, I know. Deep down, Slim, we know. And then we have the red, alternate Reds jersey, Pete Rose, with the name custom put on the back, because the original version would just have 14. Look at that big name. Nike, god damn it. Anyhow, this is the 85. The piping, I love the piping too on the sleeves. My goodness, you would think that I was the Reds fan. Look at all this. Right? We got the 88 Pete Rose, which I do want to send out to have the name put on the back. So, All-Star patch in Cincinnati that year. So you know, no name on the back, right? So this is what it would look like, right? But I do want to get the big Rose on the back. I don't know. It's just that big name. I need that on there. Nike would be happy with this. But we need the big name. Big letter font name on the back. And we have one of Slim's favorites right here. The 90 Eric the Red. Which some years later they made Larkin and Sabre. I didn't pick up either of those. I should have. And I always wanted them to make the road version. And I since got a road version, a custom done, like vintage authentic for Barry Larkin. But Mitchell&Ness, why? You got to make more of these, damn it. The road one. That's where they won. They won the World Series in Oakland. They were wearing the road jersey. The 90 World Series right there, which of course was the Reds' to date last World Series championship. But Eric the Red was a great player those years for the Reds. And a lot of people think that this next one is senior, but it's not. It's a turn back the clock jersey for Junior, wearing his dad's old number 30. Basically, I mean, you could even say you could say it's a Griffey Senior too if you want, but it's a Ken Griffey Jr. turn back the clock, celebrating the 70s Reds when they wore this when he was a Red. And there is, see, because it says 1975. Ken Griffey Jr. So that's kind of misinformation by Mitchell&Ness back then. It should have said turn back the clock with the date or whatever, but it's a jersey representing the 75 season, but he wasn't a Red in 1975. His dad was. So, but, and then this one would be the more traditional Griffey Reds jersey. Last but not least for the Reds, the alternate Reds jersey from the time. Just the one patch on there. Griffey 30 on the back with the Batterman. They also made the home vest, which I didn't get because I have an authentic in it, which you'll see in a future video. 2005 is your year. All right, we're moving along. We're not even halfway through. Oh my God. What was I thinking when I started making this video? What was I thinking back in the pandemic years? We have a batting practice, vintage batting practice. That's not Griffey. Everyone thinks this is Griffey. It's not Griffey. He didn't play in this era. So this is like an 80s, I guess, early 80s, mid 80s. Harold Reynolds, I believe, is the player. That's best as we can. There is no player name. There's just 84 is your year, and Harold wore 24, so of course Griffey made it a little more famous with the Mariners, but so that would be a Harold Reynolds batting practice as far as I remember. I could be wrong, but if I remember correct, that's what it was. And we got that Rupert Jones. Yes, Rupert Jones, Seattle number 9. And the name was custom put on from the previous owner, Ayaz. So there you go. Ayaz had a good eye for details and wanted to get the names put on the back, which is appreciative. 79 is your year. So the original version would not have the name, it just have the 9, but you know, Jersey heads, we do things. So anyhow, oh, I almost fell down. That wouldn't have been good. Speaking of doing things, up next, we got that Dave Zisk. Seattle number 22. You will see this style jersey again a couple times. So there's the 22 Zisk on the back. Really nice jersey. This is from the 1981 season. Oh my, I think this one, no, this isn't it. They all look the same, damn it. Willie Horton. Willie Horton, and this is the jersey that got me introduced to the groups. I did not know about jersey head communities until I got this jersey off eBay, and the seller pointed me in the direction of, I believe it was Jersey Central or Next Level Talk, one of those. And that's when your boys started learning a little more about how you can spot fakes. So this, again, is another one of my older, jerseys. I got this many, many years ago off eBay. But the logo on there is for the All-Star game in Seattle. 79 is your year. So these are actually out of order. I don't know why. I have to put that, it's the Jersey Head OCD. And I have to put that one back where it was. Okay, it's in front of this. Now we're good. This is the one that was burning me up not being able to find one until Throwback King pointed me in the direction of one. The Road Gaylord Perry. This one, oh, I missed out on this one a few times before I finally got it. So here it is, the road version of the 82 Gaylord Perry Seattle Mariners, which back in the day you saw these all the time. And I always wanted the white one, because to me the white one just popped more. So I got the white one many years ago, and then of course many years later I wanted the complete the set, and it was very difficult to do. So thank you to Throwback King again for pointing me in that right direction, shouting me out one, hitting me up on Messenger, as I was getting groceries in my vehicle from Target, and I was able to get one. So sometimes you never know where you're going to be able to get a jersey. In the parking lot at Target, off eBay. This is the home version, and I've had this many years. And again, it's another one of those that got scarce. 82, again, is your year. Believe me, it's on there. There it is. But see, this is why I can't do this in the summer. I'm sweating now, and it's the freaking March 3rd. Because these lights are right on me. Oh, forget trying to do this there's no way I could do this in the summer. Which I actually did, when I did this in the pandemic years, I know in the basketball room for sure. I don't know why. I think that the best I could figure, this is a custom jersey, but it's a rookie Ken Griffey Jr. with the fat 24, and you'll see why I say that soon. But here's the name on the back. Everything looks good on this. It doesn't have any tagging. So best I can tell, someone somehow customized the jersey into a home rookie Ken Griffey Jr., which is still really nice. It has that vintage look to it too. But again, there's no tagging at all. It's not fake. It's not a fake jersey because it would say Mitchell&Ness or have some sort of tagging. So best get is, I bought this on eBay years ago. Best bet is someone just somehow custom made a jersey into a custom home rookie kid. So nothing wrong with that. Looks nice. And so now Mitchell&Ness did make that. They made both the home and away with the huge neck hole back in the day. And those are really hard. If you find one, it's a unicorn, particularly the road gray, which is next to impossible to get. I do have a knockoff one, which I'm not going to show because, but I just wanted one. And it was real cheap. So, but eventually I do hope to get a road kid. Mariners, but in more of a not non-knockoff fashion. But here's the one Mitchell&Ness made a few years ago. It's got the skinny 24. If you notice, the other one was more fatter. So they had two different fonts. The Mariners back then, they had a more fatter font and they had a skinny font, and this is the skinny font. So the original version Mitchell&Ness made, which I have a custom, whatever it is, version, but the original one has the fat 24. So when they redid it, they put the skinny 24 on it for whatever reason. But there it is, Griffey 24 on the back. This is his rookie home, 89. It's going to be your year. 1989, the number. Public Enemy right there. So more Griffey, because why not? He was my first favorite baseball player, so stands the reason why I have a lot of kid jerseys in the collection. So this is the home Mariners with the 20th Annie, and it is the 97 season, so it has the Jackie Memorial. Of course, Ken Griffey was the first to wear 42, but this isn't that jersey. Mitchell&Ness kind of screwed up the font on that one, the road version. So he kind of made everyone wearing 42 now. It was Griffey that kind of was the first to do that, right? Was the pioneer of wearing number 42 for Jackie on Jackie Robinson Day. But so very cool that he did that, and of course it's very cool that the MLB continues to do it to this day. Now they should do it, I think, for Roberto Clemente as well. Everyone should wear 21. I know some players do, but now we have the teal version, which is a very popular. This is probably in more modern time. This would be probably like a Mount Rushmore of Mitchell&Ness jerseys, because this one's very popular. Everyone wants the teal jersey. The Griffey 95 is your year, so this one probably should be ahead of the 97. Again, this is me just. I've had guests here looking over stuff, and yeah, so we're gonna have to get this one right. So this is gonna be 95. 95 teal goes ahead of the 97 home. So there we go. I feel better now. So now we have this one is the turn back the clock. Ichiro. They made Griffey in this too last year, but he didn't play in that game. So he had retired beforehand. But Ichiro, they did play in that game, so I went ahead and got the Ichiro. Really nice jersey. I said you'd see this again. It's been a few times, actually. 2010 is your year. Ichiro Suzuki, the future Hall of Famer right there. Another great hitter back in the day. All right, now we got to the Tigers. We got to the Tigers. Tigers, hon. We got to the Tigers. 76, Willie Horton. Really beautiful road gray with the Detroit 1776, 1976, 100th on there. 200, whatever. 200th on there. I can do math. But there's Horton 2023 on the, that's why it's called bicentennial. Willie Horton, bicentennial, 200s. And in 2026, the nation will be 250. Be a big year here in Philly, right? We got again, 200th. Detroit, Willie Horton, the home version, which is a bit of a scarce jersey. You don't see this one too often. There it is. That Old English D, of course, on the front. Very classic. The Tigers have kind of kept their jerseys over the years, at least their home jersey. But they need to bring the Walking Tiger back in some way or fashion. They really do. 84, the championship year. Mr. Trammell. Road gray. Big word font on the back. You know what? Some teams just, like, despite Nike, should just go with huge words on the back. Huge letters. We'll show them. uh, Then we got Lance Parrish. He didn't work out as a Philly years later, but he worked out as a Tiger. There was that saying when the Phillies got Lance Parrish, Lance us a pennant. It was a bad saying, and he was a bad player with the Phillies, so it didn't really work out here many years later. But he was a really, really good Tiger, and he helped them win a World Series in '84. Yeah. I do not own his Phillies jersey. It would be an interesting conversation piece, but I don't own one today. I don't even think there's one out there. That's how bad it was for him here. The '84 home, Kirk Gibson. Gibby, of course. Yep, I hit that again. See, it's going to happen. Death taxes in my head hitting there. It's and then this guy here, the '94 Road Gray Trammell. Beautiful. Love. This is probably one of the favorites. Like, just the overall look of it. With that 125, which I have the perfect hat for. Oh, yeah. Thank you to Lids to put out the set a couple years ago of the '94 125 anniversary side patch hats. Your boy went pretty crazy getting them. California Angels, before they were the Anaheim Angels and LA Angels of Anaheim. We got the old California Angels logo, number 30. That would be the Ryan Express. The only one I don't own for Mr. Nolan is the Mets, and that's because I don't usually get a lot of wool flannels. So that's the only way I can get that one. Maybe I will to complete the Ryan set someday. Never say never. But it's the only team I have that I have all of his teams besides the Mets, and that's where he came up with. Rod Carew, California Angels home jersey, 1982. I do forget the year of the Ryan. I believe it's a '70s jersey, but that's Rod Carew. Let me see if there's a year on this. Some of these jerseys actually don't, I believe, have years. 73 would be the California Angels Ryan. We have Reggie, Mr. October. And the funny thing about Reggie is I have all of his jerseys but his Yankees jersey. You would think that would be the one, right? But no, I have all the others. I do want his Yankee jersey someday, but this is the road. California Angels, dual patched, the anniversary. Right there, 25th. Beautiful jersey. 1985 is your year. Oh. And we have a home version for the California Angels. 1986. Jackson 44. This is an older run, Mitchell&Ness too. This is an old run. All right, we're going to stay in the state of California, but we're going to go to a team that's not going to be in California very much longer, sadly. They're going to be moving to Vegas. But we got their Oakland A's jerseys. All these colorful A's jerseys. I love them. Catfish Hunter, the yellow jersey. Beautiful. This is a circa 1972 Catfish Hunter. Really, really nice. I'm glad they brought these back some years ago. Mitchell&Ness did. They made him and Raleigh fingers. I didn't get the fingers because I have an older run. But I did get the Catfish Hunter. And there's a home white, which they since reissued, but this is the original Reggie Jackson. Home Oakland A's, swinging A's, 74 is your year. Definitely going to miss them as the Oakland A's. Of course, they started their history as the Philadelphia A's. And if Philadelphia ever had a dynasty, It was the Philadelphia A's. Of course, the one dynasty we ever had, and they left town. That makes sense for Philly teams. It really does. But I don't own a Philadelphia A's jersey. I do want to get one. That's on my bucket list to get for jersey collecting. But I got a lot of Oakland A's jerseys. Another Reggie Jackson, 74. Yet again, this is a newer run, but very nice. And we have that Raleigh Fingers. This is the reason why I didn't get the newer run. This is an old run, which they made a mistake with, but it is what it is. 76, so that was their 76 logo. The Liberty Bell. Because remember, they were from Philadelphia, so they paid a little homage in 76. The name should be in green. But Mitchell&Ness did make mistakes back in the day, too. But it is what it is. All around Raleigh Fingers. 76, of course, would be your year with that patch. Rare version again, the white. 76 again with the patch. Name should be green, is what it is. It was an oopsie by Mitchell&Ness back in those days. And of course we got the green one, which is historically accurate, with the patch, 76, white name font on the back, fingers, 34. The Mustache Man. One of the Mustache, they were known as the Mustache Gang. Those swinging A's of the 70s. And Raleigh has, of course, known for that handlebar mustache. Looked like a villain. But, very colorful character. We got a Ricky Henderson where he wore 35. I want to say this is a rookie. 79 is your year. Home pullover, A's. And we have a road pullover as well with Oakland across the front. Henderson 35 again before he switched to 24. This is a 1982 is your year for this guy. And we got this guy here. This is a rookie, Mark McGwire. Oakland across the front. Name was put on later. Custom put on. This is 25 on the back, of course, as well. See, it's green. It should be green. That's the way it should be. 86 is your year. Again, a rookie Big Mac. Oakland A's. This is one that I want to send out to have the name put on the back. It is an old run, so it does not have the name. But it should have the name, and I do want to get it sent out to someone who can do that. This is a 87 Road. Mark McGwire. It should have McGwire on the back. Eventually it will. But until then, that's how it is. And we have the Yak right here, speaking of guys with the mustache. Number 43, Dennis Eckersley. This is from 89, so it's the Battle of the Bay against the Giants. The World Series they won. Of course, they lost a few back in those days, but you got Stomper on the other sleeve. That logo actually does go back to the Philadelphia A's days. Of course, they did spend a little stint in Kansas City before moving out to Oakland as well. The Road, Mark McGwire, 89, Battle of the Bay. The Memorial Band, and there's Stomper again. McGwire 25 on the back. This is a jersey that came out a few years ago by Mitchell&Ness. They made Henderson too. I didn't get the Henderson. I did get the McGwire. And we do have the Rickey Henderson in this. The 90 with the American flag course for Desert Storm. Right there. World Series they lost to the Reds. 1990. Very patched up jersey though. Of course, again, Stomper on the other side. Henderson 24 on the back. Woo! We're getting there. We are getting there. I should have rethought doing this, but this is just one rack too. We got that Jose Canseco, the alternate green Stomper with the shades. 97, so it's got the Jackie 50th. Canseco 33 on the back. And they made McGuire too, but I already have a lot of McGuire, so I went with Jose. Remember, he doesn't lie. Jose is a truth teller. One of the, of course, the Bash brothers, of course, from back in the day, McGuire and Canseco. 71 Clemente, which I do believe should be a staple in anyone's collection. This jersey is beautiful. I agree with Throwback King. I don't know why they never made the road gray to have the set. They should. It would be nice. Maybe someday. But the only one they made polyknit for Roberto to this point is the home white. And the fun story behind this jersey, not this particular jersey, but this jersey, is this was the first ever the 71 Clemente, if I remember correct, was the first ever polyknit that Mitchell&Ness created. And at the time, you know, Peter Capolino, who ran Mitchell&Ness for many years, they just made jerseys not really for consumption by consumers, but maybe some, you know, special order or something like that. And there was a baseball collector who really wanted a 71 Clemente, and before that, all Mitchell&Ness was doing was making wool flannel jerseys from that era. But they made a 71 Clemente for a collector, and it was the first time they ever made a polyknit jersey from that era, so 70s. And the 71 Clemente was the first one they ever did, if memory serves. Which my memory isn't always the greatest, but I think I remember that one. But this road gray they did for the Pirates. Same era, but different player. We have the Pop Stargell right here with the Clemente Memorial on the sleeve. Just number 8 on the back. This is a 1973 Willie Stargell Road. And we have the We Are Family Bucks 1979. Kent Tekulve, another former Philly. Kent Tekulve, of course, as a Pirate, number 27, with the glasses and the pillbox hat, you know. Very iconic look he had back then. But the 79 Buccos, the last team in Pittsburgh for the Pirates to go to and win a World Series. Pittsburgh has not been back to the World Series since. That 79 We Are Family team, and I don't have any hatred for the Pirates, but the Penguin fans get on Flyers fans a lot, and I like to remind them, well, I've seen the Phillies in the World Series, though. All right, you got us in hockey, but we got you in baseball. So we got Mr. Cobra right here, Dave Parker. The yellow jersey, the gold jersey, 1979. We Are Family Buccos. And of course, why not, right? We got the Pops and the 79 as well. The gold. I don't have the Colby. That's the only one I don't have in this one, but I got the black version, so all is good. Now we got the Bumblebee jersey. I have 2 of these because one, it's a little snug on me, but this one, just the 8. It's a Willie Stargell. It's again a 1979 old run Mitchell&Ness. and they did not put the name bar on the back, but years later they did. So I was able to coupe that one. This one fits me a little better. And there's the version with the name on the back. Stargell 8, 1979, the Bumblebee jersey. And I have a batting practice as well for Pop Stargell. Some in the hat community call this the Mel Gibson logo, and now I can't unsee it, so I keep calling it the Mel Gibson. 1982 will be your year. Shout out to Slim. Yeah, I got a few of these from him in some recent time, so thank you again, Slim. The only time Mitchell&Ness has ever made a Barry Bonds jersey. I guess his rights are just very hard to get. There's so many that they could make, so many that people want them to make, like me. It's just hard to secure his rights, I guess. But they made this one, the Road Pirates. Right there, 24, no name on the back. Obviously, they didn't have the naming rights, and that's why it was easy for them back then to make this. So just a 24 on the back. It's a 1990 pullover Pirates jersey. It is Barry Bonds. It just doesn't have the name. Someday maybe I'll have it put on, or I might just keep this one as is, just because it was the first and only to date Barry Bonds jersey they've done. Unless they did some batting practice or something I'm just forgetting on. And this one I got, I want to say this was a Ron jersey. This one I got from Ron years ago. So a previous owner turned a Barry Bonds into an Andy Vance-like with the name. So there it is. Basically, this was the jersey I just showed you that, the owner before the previous owner turned into a Andy Vance-like. So, again, it's a 1990. And I do wonder, there's so many nice, the Pirates, particularly their home jersey from the 90s, really, really nice Pirates font on the front of it. I hope someday they do more of the 90s Pirate jerseys. Even if it's not Barry Bonds, if they just can't secure his rights, if they do like Vance-like or Bobby Bonilla or, other players from that era. Because those jerseys are really nice. It would be nice to see them a little more. But anyhow, here we go. Yankees is your team now. Thurman Munson with the 50th of Yankee Stadium patch on the side. There's the back, just number 15. The old captain of that era. And then we have Donnie Baseball right here. His final season, 1995, of course. He kind of retired a year too soon before the Yankees finally won a World Series. All those years he played for the Yankees, they never won. But, year too soon there, Donnie. But he was a great player for so many years on teams that just couldn't win, couldn't get over that hump. It's hard to win. You look at some of the all-time Hall of Famers that never won. It's a hard thing, This guy won. A few. The Sandman, of course, Mariano Rivera. This is his 95 jersey, of course, with the Mickey Mantle Memorial on the sleeve. He was a setup man. He wasn't even a closer during this time, right? He was just coming out of the bullpen before Enter Sandman and all that started playing, before he became the closer. Of course, John Wetland was their... Oh, see, MightyFan knows. Don't think MightyFan doesn't know about the Yankees, okay? John Wetland was their closer in 95, 96. When they won, Mariano was the setup man, and then he, of course, became the Hall of Fame closer, and the Sandman was born. Of course, 96, they had this guy have his, start to, become more of a regular on the team. The captain, of course, Derek Jeter, number 2. Derek Jeter, number 2. 96 World Series. This was the original Derek Jeter jersey that Mitchell&Ness made. They made this one in the 2000 All-Star Road in Atlanta. I have both of them. I know since they made others, but this was the original one that they did before they redid it. And here's the original 2000 All-Star. It's a big boy jersey, but, you know, it's in the collection. There's the All-Star patch from Atlanta that year. Number 2. Of course, part of that Dynasty Yankees teams. The captain. Did get to see him play, so I was glad to say I was able to do that. I did go to a game at Old Yankee Stadium. I went to a game at Current Yankee Stadium. I have not been to a game at the Mets to this point, but I do want to get there. I do want to get to a game at Citi Field at some point, whether it's against my beloved Phillies or not. But here is, speaking of the Mets, I know I got Phillies. I'm a Phillies fan, but I have Mets jerseys. I have Braves jerseys too. Fan collector. So here's the Willie Mays Say Hey Kid right here. The home pinstripe Mets. 1978. Good year right there. There it is with the logo. Shout out to my buddy Anthony, who's a Mets fan from Pro Image. And why have one when you can have two? Why not just have both? The home and away set for the Say Hey Kids Mets jerseys. There it is. There's the logo. Look at them. They spend a lot of money and they don't win. The Phillies, though. Oh, look at me with the evil laugh, too. No, I'm sorry. The Mets play players to win on other teams. That's what they like to do anymore. I have fun with Mets fans. I've been to many Phillies Mets games, and we just have fun going back and forth with the old war stories of being a fan of our teams that have let us down. Yeah, a few times, but I did see the Phillies win one. I mean, I want to see more than one, but yeah, I was at the parade in 08. But anyhow, here we go. Tom Terrific. I don't have the wool flannel. Like I said before, I'm more of a polyknit guy, but I did get his return to New York jersey right here. 1983. He wasn't quite the same as he was when he originally was a Met, but, you know, he went back. So, I do, you know what, I do have to say, I've always, I don't know, it's a mark on me as a Phillies fan, I know, but I've always liked the Met jerseys for whatever reason, the colors, I like their jerseys, but the team, the fans, we've had some fun times over the years. Keith Hernandez, by the way, thanks for Zach Wheeler. Very appreciated. So, Keith Hernandez, number 17. Speaking of players on the Mets who did good with the Mets, right? Didn't just go to another team and did good. Here's Keith Hernandez, his Mets alternate 83 jersey, blue, right there. I do have to admit, I do like those 86 Mets. For whatever reason, they were like a scrappy kind of... If there was almost like a Philly kind of team in New York, it would probably be the 86 Mets. So I do kind of like that team. So I have a few 86 jerseys in the collection. Why they never made the Road Gray is beyond me, but Darryl Strawberry, the straw man right here, 83 again is your year. A lot of these blue ones from that year, right? And then we have the St. Patty's Day jersey of the straw man. I just have a lot of Darryl Strawberry jerseys. I can't really tell you the exact reason, but there's a lot of them. 85 is your year. I see that damn thing. I want to move it. It's gotta be like a counter on my channel now. How many times when I do videos up here? How many times my head hits the fan? You know, I actually have a fan in here. Maybe I should use it. No, I don't want to hit it. I don't want a jersey to hit it. Here's the 86 Mets, the home straw. with the 25th Annie logo. 86 Mets, the home pinstripe, iconic pinstripe jersey right there with the racing stripes. Very nice jersey, like I said. And like I said, I like the 86 team. There's a really nice documentary. I think it's a 3-part 30 for 30 or 4-part or whatever it was. Once Upon a Time in Queens. Very good documentary on the team and their colorful characters. Of course, the kid, you saw his Expos jersey before. Now you see his Mets jersey, 86. Gary Carter, who was one of the guys that kind of kept the team in line in those years. Gary didn't mess around. We have Dr. K right here, Dwight Gooden. 86, again, will be your year. You're noticing a theme. The first one I ever owned, I bought this at the Mitchell&Ness store many years ago when it was on Chestnut Street. Red Sox fans, you might want to turn away. Mookie Wilson, the man who hit the ball that went under Buckner's glove. Here comes night and the Mets win it. Yeah, see, the Red Sox have won like 3, and so it's like, yeah, who cares? They cared back then, though. Before their team became a dynasty, they cared. Mookie Wilson, of course, 86 Mets. Another guy who did pretty good with the Phillies as well. Of course, he won with the Mets, but nails right here, Lenny Dykstra. 86 again. The Dude, of course, as he would be known as a Philly, part of the 93 team that couldn't quite win it, but, gave us some good memories nonetheless. Great leadoff hitter that he was on that team. And we have the 87 Road Strawberry. Now, I've seen custom versions of the 86 Road, but they did it wrong because they put the scripted New York on the front. In 86, the font was exactly the same as the naming was exactly the same as the home jersey. It had Mets across the front. New York got put on in 87, so I've seen that jersey custom done. I'm like, if only they just did Mets. So they didn't do the research on that one, but 87 they started doing the scripted New York across the front. It looked better. It looks nice. I love the script. Scripted New York the batting practice hat has this. I'm gonna have to get that hat to go with these jerseys, but. Yeah, 86, they had Mets across the front. Now, if they could just do that, I can get some Road Gray 86 jerseys. New York with the captaincy on there, Keith Hernandez. Of course, the famous Seinfeld episode. That was a magic loogie. It's such a great episode. If you've never seen it, you can look it up here on YouTube. It's a fantastic episode, and the recreating of the spit heard around around Shea Stadium. Oh, look, another Lenny Dykstra Mets jersey. Woo! There's a Road Gray again, different with the New York. They like to, do different road jerseys, I guess, over the years. 88. That script only lasted 1 year, and they went to this. I like the script better. I do. But it is what it is. New York across the front. Then we have the Mike Piazza. The alternate black World Series jersey 2000. The Subway Series. Of course, the Yankees won in 5 at Shea. But Piazza had a moment, in that World Series with Roger Clemens. Quite memorable moment. And this one, you know, I was happy that Mitchell&Ness made it. I always kind of hoped that they would, because it was a very poignant moment after 9/11. The Mets and Braves were one of the first games to come back televised. And the Mets won the game at Shea. Mike Piazza hit a home run. And I always said Mitchell&Ness should make this jersey. And some years ago, they did. So it was the 9/11 jersey, basically. It was the game, the first game after that restarted sports after 9/11. And it does have the 9/11 01 We Will Never Forget. There it is right there on the sleeve. Very, very nice jersey. They really banged this one out nicely. The flag again on the back. Piazza 31. Chain stitching, which Nike, for whatever reason, decided to go away from for the teams that had chain stitching, including my beloved Phillies. But I was glad they made this jersey, because this was one of those moments that I'll always remember, you know, after the 9/11 tragedy and all, of Piazza hitting that home run and the Mets winning that game. And it just felt right, you know. So I'm glad they did it. All right, so my team, the team that of course, the Phillies are my team. They're my main team. They're my numero uno. But my second favorite team, if I had a second favorite team behind the Phillies in the National League, it would be the Cubbies. I've always liked the Cubbies, too. So the Cubbies, I have a decent amount of Cubs jerseys as well. I was happy when they won in 2016. Break that, you know, that curse. I still have to get some jerseys from that. It's on the hit list. This one is the Paul Popovich Cubs jersey. Yes, some people think this is Buckner. It's not Buckner. No, this is Paul Popovich is your player from 72. This is before Buckner came around to wear number 22. Paul Popovich. Not to be confused with Greg Popovich, the coach of the Spurs. But anyhow, we move on. Pull over Cubby jersey right there. We have a home version from 76. Note the 100th logo there, and it does have Chicago 1876 to 1976, so their 100th. And this is a Steve Stone jersey, number 30. We have a road version, same year, 76. And number 18, that's Bill Madlock. His jersey, 76, road blue. And Mitchell&Ness issued this in recent years. And I had to go out, I had to grab one. Bruce Sutter, his 76 Cub road jersey. Same as the Madlock, just different player. And this is a more newer run jersey. But a really nice one. I really like the way that looks. And I wanted to get his Cubs jersey because I have his Cardinals jersey too. So I'm like, all right. And I know there was I saw recently a Bill Madlock batting practice Pirates road, the gold yellow batting practice. And I'm like, ooh, that's a nice one too. But maybe, we'll see. Maybe someday. And this is not Paul Popovich. This one is Bill Buckner. Now we got my favorite Cub logos, that one right there. And we got Buckner 22. Yes, before the ball that went under the glove that was heard around the world. He was a Cubby. And he was on the field for that moment because they thought they were going to win, and he was a veteran. They wanted him to be on the field when the Red Sox won the title, and it didn't work. Maybe they should have gone with a defensive replacement. I know, Red Sox fans, it's all, I know, they won 3. They were a dynasty, so it's all water under the bridge now, right? All the muddy water under the bridge, I should say, right? I like having fun with the Boston fans. You can't have fun with them for a lot of things, but little things. You can still, remember when that happened? Yeah! How about all the time your team's lost, huh? How about that? They get angry. Bostonians are angry people. You gotta be careful. You watch Ted enough, you'll know. But anyhow, here's the here's the Rick Sutcliffe Chicago Cubs. This would be in 1984. Of course, that was a good year for the Cubbies. Did end well. They did lose in the NLCS to the San Diego Padres in a very memorable series. And of course, the Padres are going to lose to the Tigers in the World Series that year. Here's Ryan Sandberg. So this would be, so the previous jersey was like a regular season, then this is the postseason because they added this patch for their champions. NL Eastern Division champions. Huh? They used to be in our division back in the day. And of course, this guy, he was with the Phillies. And he was thrown in on a trade because Dallas Green was the manager of the Phillies. He went to the Cubs. And he knew about this guy, and he swindled the Phillies into trading him as just a throw-in play. You know, you got that Sandberg guy. How about you just throw him in the deal? Oh yeah, let's do that. What's the harm that can come from? He went on to be a Hall of Fame second baseman for many years with the Cubbies. But it is what it is. Sometimes it's the mistakes. It's the moves you make or the moves that you don't make, right? So, yeah, that didn't work out very well. Neither did the trading Billy Williams to the Cubs. That one didn't work out, too. Philly should just not trade with the Cubs. Just, that's one team. If you have a prospect that you have to move, just, no. We've helped them enough. Of course, Rhino. Now, it wasn't very memorable in his return to Philadelphia as the manager. That didn't go very well. That was part of the dark years here in Philly as for the Phillies. But he was a Hall of Fame player with the Cubbies, and he was with the Phillies minor league system. And what could have been. But anyhow, here is the home version. Funny story behind this and the Sutcliffe. Slim remembers. Slim reminds me from time to time about this. There was an auction on eBay for the guy was selling I think individually or whatever both the home 84 Sandberg and the road Sutcliffe, and I wanted both. I didn't have them at the time, and I was in bed, and I think I was watching a Phillies game or whatever it was, and their commercial came on. I closed my eyes, and the next thing I knew, I woke up to like texts and messages on my phone. Did you get it? Did you get it? I literally slept through it. I slept through getting, but I got them eventually. So that's probably one of my biggest oopsie moments of all time collecting. I slept through the auction. I felt so bad about it too. I'm like, God damn. You may have seen this jersey before. We have a few. This is probably my all-time favorite Cubs jersey. Is this one right here, the pullover blue? It's just beautiful. Maddox right there. Of course, the Professor. You know, would go on to have some pretty good years with the Braves too, and be a torment to the Phillies for many years. Although we did get him in '93, but the Professor, his early professing days with the Cubs. And we have from the MVP season 1987, Andre the Hawk Dawson. You saw his Expos jersey before. Here's his Cubby jersey, number 8 Dawson right there. 87 would be your year. That was his MVP season with the Cubs. National League MVP. The Hawk, one of the great nicknames in all sports. I don't remember if I gave you the year for the Maddox, but it's 89 will be the year for which is out of order. So now I gotta change. I gotta get all right now. Now they're right. In fact, a lot of these jerseys are out of order. I'm noticing right now. I gotta do something about this. Because now we have another Hawk, 87, the home version. This actually was the very first Mitchell&Ness Cubs jersey I ever owned. This one right here. I got this from the flagship store when it was on Chestnut Street many years ago. And as we saw, the collection has grown since. 20 years ago, or 18, or however many years ago it was, I got this one. All right, let's see what else is out of order here. Oh, we have another Sandberg. Because, we have a few. I mean, why not one more, right? So we got another pullover. Home, Ryan Sandberg, 23 on the back. Slightly different than the other one. So I picked this one up when it was available at the time. This will be a 1987 Sandberg. Rhino. I bet you it was that Luca that did this. He's a White Sox fan. He probably came here and thumbed through the Cubs jersey and said, I'm going to put him out of order. I'll show him. Shout out to the Jersey Jaguar. Oh, look, another Sandberg jersey. Who knew? This would be the 90 Road Gray with the wonderful All-Star patch, which you've seen on many a Cubs hat on the side since the pandemic years. I have one, of course, to go with this. Cub logo right on the other side. Chicago 23. The other number 23 from Chicago, right? Sandberg 23 on the back. 1990 Road Gray. Another jersey that's become scarce over the years. So, damn it, Luca, here's another out of order Cubs jersey. From the years. We have the home version of the Professor right here, Mr. Maddox. This is a 1992. Oh, so it is in order. I'm sorry. I saw this jersey and my initial reaction. Oh, damn! It's a button down. That's why. Sometimes you just need slim. Again, thank you. 92, so that does go after 90. So it was only a few of them that were out of order here. And then we go to Slam and Sammy Sosa. The Road Gray. Look at that font right there. They did this similar on a batting practice since. This is the only on-field jersey that they've made for this. 1996 is your year. And then this one, last but not least, we have made it to the end of this rack. Oh my God. Oh. I feel like at the end of running a marathon, I look like I ran a marathon too. Look at this. The Sammy Sosa, the 98, right? This is the 98. Yep, 98 from the home run season, right? Him and McGuire going crazy. You got that Jack Brickhouse, hey, right there. The old what was it? WGN, I forget the name of the station in Chicago. Used to play the Cubby games on. And of course, Harry Carey, the memorial, right there. I think it was WGN. We used to get that here. We used to get that channel out of Chicago, and it was a free. It wasn't even a cable. It was like one of our channels. So every now and then, I used to watch like Cub games on Sundays. Of course, after Brickhouse had already retired and passed away, but they would show the Cub games on Sundays. So if I wasn't watching the Phillies, I was watching the Cubbies, right? So there you go. And now I can see them anytime I want, right? Although it will be the Phillies first, but because, as I said before, as a Phillies, any kind of season ticket holder, you get the MLB.TV package for free, so you can see any game out of market, and you can watch either the home or road broadcast. So I keep an eye on those Cubbies from time to time. I understand they have that Phillies own Jambi as one of their announcers now, huh? He's a Fanatic fan. Yeah, that's his guy. So he used to be on ESPN. I think he does a really nice job. I like him. I like him as a play-by-play man. And I know he calls the games for Marquee Sports Network in Chicago for the Cubbies. And that good old Jambi there, the local guy's doing good. It's always good to see. Always good to see them do good, right? Regardless where they are in the country, as long as they're doing something good, we can still call them our own, right? If they screw up, we don't know who they are. We never knew them. Oh, God, I have to towel off. God. Oh, but you see how many jerseys And it still has room, by the way. You see how many jerseys these Z-bottom racks can fill? It's amazing. And there's still room. I can push these down a bit, and I still have room for about another maybe 7, 8, 10, maybe if I squeeze them in. Really, really squeeze them in. Jerseys, it's crazy. But this is what I always recommend to collectors, right? You got to get the Z-bottom racks. The big industrials, because they put so much, you can hold about 400 or 500 pounds on them, and just, you see how many I showed. Oh, God knows it was a lot. See, this is why I can't wear hats in these videos. It would be Niagara Falls. The hat would be over. Anyhow, that is volume 1 of the redo of In the Collection of MightyFan. In the Mighty Kingdom, we got baseball, and there's more baseball to show. I still have to do that back rack. I have to do these racks. I might take time in between each video. I still have to redo the NBA room. I have to do the man cave. Maybe the man cave would be a little easier. We'll see. I'm not sure exactly what I'll show next, but it will be something. One of these racks, either upstairs or downstairs, will be... I need a drink. Oh, God, I need to bring a drink up with me or something. This is lessons learned. Damn this thing! Anyhow, thanks for watching, as always, this hour and a half of pure joy here of jersey showing. Oh, my God, it's crazy. And again, if you would have told me 20 years ago when I'm looking at these jerseys at the old Mitchell&Ness store on Chestnut Street that I would have rooms like this, there's no way I would believe it. But it just goes to show, right? There's deals out there. Out of every single jersey that I showed you on this rack, I don't think I paid full price for any single one of them. Sales, eBay, other collectors. Not one of these jerseys, if I'm remembering correct, and I believe I am, none of these jerseys were brought at retail. So that just goes to show, for anyone just starting out, you can find deals. You just have to keep your eyes open. There are deals to be found everywhere, you know? So here I am in a room full of these things, and I literally, there may be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 that I paid retail for in just this room. So it's crazy to think about, but that just goes to show how much you can find at a good price out there, you know? Anyhow, thanks for all the support to the channel. What do you always got to do, right? You got to leave those likes, like it up, right? Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so. Hit the bell icon so you're notified to all future content from yours truly. Before I pass out, I got to go. I wasn't expecting it to be like this. Oh, my goodness. But thanks for watching. And again, I'm kind of revisiting this. This is something I did during the pandemic years, just to kind of catalog the collection, just as something to do. And now I think it's been, you know, how many years later? Let's do it again. I've certainly added. I mean, if you look at the original video for this rack, it's certainly more on this rack now since that last video was made during 2020. And it still boggles my mind that one of my most watched video on my channel of all the videos that I've made over all these years since 2009 has been the video I made in the NBA room back in the pandemic year, showing the newer run Mitchell&Ness jerseys, the Authentics and Swingmans that's on that rack, all the newer China and Vietnam runs. Somehow that video got in the YouTube algorithm, and even to this day, I still get comments and questions, you know, whatever, from that video. It's a humbling thing. It really is. That video has over 23,000 views. It's unbelievable. I'm like, man, that one something must have happened with this one. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that's one rack. That's one. So we still have others to go. But the revisit to MightyFan's collection, we're going to go jersey by jersey, rack by rack, closet by closet. We're going to go until we reach the end. It might take the year. I might have a nice break in the summer months because there's no way I can do this up here. I can't. It's hard enough now. On March 3rd, I can't come up here in like July and August. There's no way. I really would pass out then. Even with the fan does nothing, by the way. I didn't turn it on, but even if I did, it laughs at me. So you expect me to do something, huh? Yeah, hit your head on this again. Go. I'm like a bobblehead now. All right, I gotta go. But thanks for all the continued support to the channel, and I will see you again soon, everyone. All right, take care. Bye. I need a drink.